It is 2 a.m. You should be asleep. But instead, you are lying in the dark, replaying a conversation from 3 days ago. Rewinding the exact moment you said the wrong thing, or said nothing at all, and now you are constructing the perfect response you should have given. And just as you start to drift off, a new thought fires. Did you lock the front door? Did that person seem annoyed at you today, or were you imagining it? And now you are not thinking about one thing. You are thinking about all of it, at once, in a loop that has no off switch. The cruelest part is that you can see it happening. You can watch yourself spiral, and you still cannot stop it. People have been telling you to just relax your whole life. Just let it go. Stop making a big deal out of everything. You've probably Googled how to stop overthinking more times than you can count, and every article gives you the same useless advice. Think positive. Focus on the present. Just stop, as if you had not already tried that. Society has a word for you. They call you anxious. They call you a worrier. And after years of hearing that, you have probably started to believe it. You have probably decided that your brain is broken. But here is what nobody has told you. The diagnosis is wrong. Your brain is not broken. It is not even malfunctioning. It is doing exactly what it was designed to do. The problem is not your brain. The problem is that your brain is a smoke alarm. A smoke alarm is a perfectly designed piece of technology. It is sensitive, it is fast, and it is always on. When there is a real fire, it saves your life. But a smoke alarm does not know the difference between a burning building and burnt toast. It cannot tell the difference between a genuine threat and a momentary inconvenience. So it screams at the same volume for both. Your brain works exactly the same way. You were given a threat detection system so powerful, so finely tuned, that it catches things other people miss entirely. That sensitivity is not a defect. It is the most sophisticated survival hardware ever built. The issue is not the alarm. The issue is that the alarm was calibrated for a world that no longer exists. And today, we're going to look at the neuroscience behind why your brain got stuck in this mode, why evolution actually needed you to be this way, and exactly how to turn the volume down without disconnecting the alarm entirely. To understand what is happening inside your head, we need to look at a specific network in your brain. Neuroscientists call it the default mode network. Think of it as your brain's background program. When you are not focused on a task, your brain does not simply switch off. It switches to this network. One of its major functions is simulation, running scenarios about the future and reviewing interactions from the past. It asks, am I safe? Am I liked? Did I get that right? For most people, this runs at a low hum in the background. Research suggests that people prone to rumination often show greater or more persistent default mode network activity. It may remain more active than usual when attention would normally shift elsewhere. It keeps roaring in the background. This is why a quiet moment never feels quiet for you. This is why you cannot watch a film without part of your mind drifting to an unfinished conversation. Your default mode network is not lazy, it is overworked. But here is where it gets important, because the default mode network does not work alone, it has a partner. Neuroscientists call it the amygdala. One of its key roles is detecting potential threats and emotionally significant signals. This triggers what psychologist Daniel Goleman called an amygdala hijack. Drawing on decades of emotion and fear circuit research, Goleman popularized the term to describe moments when emotional reactions temporarily dominate more reflective thinking. Your brain is running its background simulations, and at some point, one of those simulations sets off a small alarm. That email you sent sounded wrong. That silence in the conversation felt hostile. The amygdala picks up that signal and treats it like a threat, not a mild inconvenience, a threat. And the moment the amygdala flags something as a threat, your thinking brain does not step back. It steps in. It tries to solve the problem. But because the threat is not real, because it is a phantom, there is nothing to actually solve, so your brain just keeps going. Your heart rate rises slightly, your focus narrows, and the loop begins. Psychologist Susan Nolen-Hoeksema extensively studied a process called rumination, and what her decades of research found is devastating in its simplicity. Rumination rarely helps solve problems. It tends to amplify them instead. The more you turn a thought over, the more significant it feels. The more significant it feels, the louder the alarm. And the louder the alarm, the harder it becomes to let go. This is the loop, and this is where most people completely misunderstand themselves. You are not overthinking because you are weak or anxious or broken. You are caught in a loop that your own brain designed to keep you safe. The system itself is valuable. The problem is that it no longer knows when to stop. The smoke alarm is not malfunctioning. It just cannot tell the difference between smoke and burnt toast. Now here's the part nobody talks about. If overthinking causes this much suffering, why did evolution keep it? One theory from evolutionary psychology suggests that people like you were essential to the tribe. In a world of genuine physical danger, a brain like yours was not a liability, it was an asset. You were the one who noticed the subtle shift in the sky before the storm came. You were the one who picked up the tension in the group before the conflict erupted. You were the one running the simulation 10 steps ahead while everyone else was focused on right now. The tribe did not just tolerate people like you. The tribe may have survived because of people like you. The world today has very few saber-toothed tigers, but your brain has not received that update. It is still scanning, still simulating, still trying to keep you alive. Here's the thing. Understanding this is not enough. And if you're wondering why knowing all of this has not actually stopped the overthinking, that is because insight alone does not break the loop. So now we move into the toolkit. I want to give you 3 specific tools. Pick the one that feels most natural to you and master that one first. One tool used consistently is worth more than 3 tools used occasionally. The first tool is called the pattern interrupt. Rumination loops survive by running below the level of conscious awareness. They gain momentum almost invisibly in the background before you realize what is happening. The moment you drag the loop into conscious awareness and name it out loud, you activate your prefrontal cortex. Your thinking brain comes back online. And the loop loses its grip. So the next time you catch yourself spiraling, say it out loud, not in your head, out loud, even a whisper counts. Say, I am ruminating right now, or simply, this is the loop again. You are not judging yourself. You are not trying to stop the thought. You are naming it. And that act of naming creates a small but real gap between you and the thought. In that gap is where the loop breaks. The second tool is called the worry window. This comes directly from the research of psychologist Thomas Borkovich. Here's the principle. You cannot tell your brain to stop worrying. That is like telling your smoke alarm to stop detecting smoke. It will get louder if you try to suppress it. What you can do is contain it. Choose a specific time each day, 15 minutes, same time every day, and call it your worry window. When a worry comes up outside that window, you do not fight it. You simply say, not now, but later, and you genuinely return to it during your window. What happens over time is this. Over time, many people find their worries become less intrusive because the brain learns they will be addressed later. And outside the window, you start to get small stretches of genuine quiet, not silence, not peace, just quiet. And for a brain like yours, quiet is everything. The third tool is called the useful filter. When a thought is looping, ask it one question. Is this useful? Not, is this real? Not, is this possible? Is this useful right now? Useful worry leads to action. If you are worried about a presentation tomorrow, that is useful. You can prepare. You can do something with it. Useless worry leads only to more worry. Replaying a conversation from 2 years ago, catastrophizing about something with a 2% chance of happening, spinning on situations entirely outside your control. When you ask, is this useful, you are not dismissing the thought. You are directing your brain's enormous processing power towards something it can actually act on. Useful thought gets attention. Useless thought gets acknowledged and released. That is not suppression. That is triage. So let us put this together. You may not simply be an anxious person. Part of what you are experiencing may be a highly sensitive threat detection system doing its job too aggressively. You are someone with a smoke alarm that is exquisitely sensitive. Your default mode network may be engaging in these simulations more frequently or more intensely than average. Your brain may be reacting to subtle signals that others interpret differently or never consciously notice. That is not a flaw in your design, that is the design. You were built to notice, you were built to anticipate, you were built to run the scenario 10 steps ahead. The world needs that. You just need to learn to work with the alarm instead of fighting it. Name the loop, contain the worry, ask if it is useful. And the next time your brain fires at 2 a.m., take a breath and remember this. Your brain is not broken. It is a smoke alarm in a world that forgot how to burn. Now, if you found yourself watching this and thinking, this explains the thinking, but it does not explain why I feel everything so deeply in the first place, that is exactly what the next video is about. Because overthinking is often a symptom of something deeper, a nervous system that is simply wired to process the world at higher resolution than most people. Click this video right here to find out if that is what is actually going on with you. I will see you over there.